had to drill 100 holes in this guitar.
Just kidding, you know I would never do that.
Because I actually drilled 1,000 holes in this guitar.
There are some really annoying crows out today. They've been around all week. They sound like Marge Simpson screaming. Or kind of like that Taylor Swift goat meme. The reason my intro was so annoying is because this is probably one of the most YouTube-y videos I've made. And I'm not proud, but it's a genuine experiment I wanted to run. I wanted to find out if there would be any sonic difference between a guitar and a guitar that's been drilled to living hell. And so, let's get down to the story and get down to business, and please enjoy. So, I saw a guitar on Facebook Marketplace. It was a Japanese dreadnought from, let's say, the 60s, possibly early 70s, by Norma. Norma's just the brand name, but the A is scratched off, so it just says Norm.
Oh, you got any gum?
It had a nice 70s hard case, and it looked pretty nice, to be honest. It was $100, but was a little far away. It would probably take about an hour to go get it in total, and so I was on the fence, to be honest. But then I had some business north of the location, so I was going to be passing by, and I decided to check it out because the seller had lowered the price to $50. Even at $50, I decided to ask the seller in advance if there were any issues, what the condition was, and I got a typical of any classifieds, but I assume particularly Facebook, ambiguous response. Now, ambiguity can often be willful ignorance or genuine ignorance. So I went and looked at it, and the case that looked great, the hard case, trashed. The guitar itself had the neck pulled in and some warping near the sound hole and bellying near the bridge, and that was about it for serious issues. So I went about my business, I left, and I messaged him and said, sorry, I'm not interested, it's trashed. But, just before I was on my way back home and passing back through his town, he said, how about 25? And I was like, well, it's a tough call, to be honest. My house is full of crap, and it is a broken trash guitar in a broken trash case, but, I went for it. So, here we are. Here's the guitar. There's lots of bellying. Let me get a straight edge. Neck is excessively bowed. The truss rod is looking pretty stripped out. Positives about this guitar: it appears to have a solid spruce top, Brazilian rosewood bridge and fretboard, and a really pretty pickguard. Mahogany neck, and a multi-ply maple body. At least it looks like maple to me. The action is extremely high. It has a 0 fret, but the guide nut is too low, so the E vibrates on the 0 fret. And there is evidence of a previous bridge reglue. And there's a little octopus sticker. The truss rod nut points downward, and there's not enough room here. I can move it a little bit so it's loose at the moment, which means it's either broken or just fully unadjusted. It's very stripped out. It's stripped out, but it's giving 5 millimeters. It's giving metric, so we're gonna tighten this as much as we can. This truss rod slot turned out pretty good, despite how bad of an effort I put in. Alrighty, the truss rod adjustment worked. We actually have almost a back bow at this point, but We'll see what happens when we get it up to full tension. The action is actually a pretty acceptable height now. We're at 2.25 or 2.5 on the low E and down to 2 millimeters on the B string. There's no high E on it at the moment. I'm so freaking far behind. Okay, it's Monday. I need to get this video out by Thursday. It's Monday. I need to get this video out by Thursday, and then I need to get another video out in advance, as I usually hope to do. So let's get down to it. With the tension off, it might be psychosomatic, but it seems like these bows in the sound hole have lessened slightly. And the first thing we're going to do today is add sound hole struts of spruce, probably, and try to flatten those out the rest of the way. Actually, before I fill the sound hole with clamps, let's have a look at the bracing pattern. Okay, we've got your standard Baxendale proprietary bracing, aka Martin, aka every X brace ever. We can work with this. This should be a pretty juicy tan line reveal. Ooh, yes. Hello. Farts, farts, farts. Okay, we've got our little guys in. This is pissing me off. I think I should be able to find one of these, or rather one of these. The problem, of course, is that I never work on Japanese stuff, so I have no idea where my box of Japanese tuners is. Somewhere in here, maybe. Ooh. Shout out to Chaz Organics. I think this is our spot. Is this it? This looks like the wrong side. Nope, pretty close. Here's one of the covers with the little tab. So somewhere in here, I may have one. Yes! Is it the right side? Yay! Boom. Turns out to be the only one of those tuners I had. That's pretty dope. Let this be a reminder, kids. Keep everything,
even if it makes you go insane.
Now, as I had previously mentioned, the low E slot is too high and basically creates a buzzing effect when it just brushes the top of the 0 fret. So I'm going to deepen that low E slot. Ooh, it's a sticky plastic nut. Now seeing, it's very likely this is not the original nut. Now I will find out if I'm taking off these clamps prematurely. It looks as though there was a giant slot here at one point. Fun factoid, Giant Slot was my nickname in high school. Now I have to mention, the reason this guitar is even remotely good is because it's got such a thin spruce top, quarter sawn spruce. But that's also the reason it's wavy as gravy. And I know this guitar has a lot of potential, but I'm doing this for science. And now I'm going to do some layout work and decide exactly how to modify this. And by modify, I of course mean completely F it up. In case you're watching this by freak accident and have no idea what's going on, this tape is decorative. It is definitely not to lay out the locations of the bracing so that I can decide on a pattern to drill an S-ton of holes in it. I'm going to string it up, record a bunch of sound demos, and then get down to business. We're gonna load it up with some 12s. Now, there's not a lot of room on these tuner posts, so you can only get about 2 windings total, one above, one below, plus a little extra. As above, so below.
As above, so below.
I'm really feeling Manon on the string up.
I can feel him running through my veins.
If anyone tells you your hair is frizzy, don't believe them. They're just jealous. Does time of day affect recording? That is something we will not find out in today's video. Okay, to make sure it's consistent, I have made it exactly 1 piece length away from the microphones. Alrighty, that's all you get to hear for now because I'm going to drill all the holes in the guitar now and then we will play the demos side by side. Sorry for the shaky, I've had 3 copies. I was trying to do some layout work and it was difficult, so I'm just going to start by drilling all of the holes in this. I'm going to tape it in place and go from there. Okay, I'm 627 holes in, and my shoulder hurts and my wrist hurts. I'm a little baby. Alrighty, I am done drilling holes, and boy are my arms tired. So now I'm gonna put the pick guard back on. Oops, wrong hole, that's what she said. We are back with our holy guitar, and we are going to go exactly 1 penis lengths away from the microphones and do the same demos and listen to them side by side. Bulb just went out and I realized what a cool effect it does. It does, it is, it has, and no more frizzy hair. Which way shall I take for the bright golden span? I'm a pilgrim, weary, been spending my life to the left, to the right, on me if I
dark in the passes so few. Hear thee, my son, is the old wayside cross, like a gray friar, got lichens and moss, and its cross means you point to the bright golden spire that bridges the water so safely for man. Earthly wealth and fame may never come to me. A palace fair mine may never be. Let come what may, Christ will meet all care. Anywhere is home, he's only there. Anywhere is home, let come and go what may. Anywhere I roam, he keeps me all the way. So for his dear sake, my cross I'll meekly bear. For it's home, sweet home, if he's only there.
So now the big question. Should I have taken off the octopus sticker? Would it sound better if I made a truss rod cover? Doesn't this kind of look pretty? Okay, but the real question is, of course, do you hear a difference? And which do you prefer? Without trying to put a finger on the scale, when listening back to the recordings, I'm finding that the holes, unironically, opened up the sound, that there's more treble and it's less subdued and less bassy, for better or worse. But to my ear, it's more pleasant. And honestly, when I was playing it without listening back, I don't know if I would have heard a difference. Although having all the extra holes does direct more sound at you, and in that regard, perhaps it did sound better with the holes. Let's see what Buggy thinks. Buggy, which one sounds better? When I was planning this experiment, my idea was to put a spoil board underneath the soundboard whenever I was drilling so that I wouldn't have crazy chip out, but I didn't do that. So after I demo it with all the holes, I'll show you the carnage. It's probably not going to be pretty. As you can tell, I ignored the existence of the tone bars when I was drilling. Now, as ever, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. I'd like to thank my Patreon patrons and YouTube members. And yeah, if you'd like to subscribe, like the video, share the video, that would help out my tiny little channel quite a bit. Thank you from me and Buggy and my daughter. Bye.
Anywhere is home, they'll come and go with me. Anywhere I roam, it keeps me all the way. Anywhere's home if he's only there.